Want to make sure that this is streaming correctly. Okay, I don't know if I'm on YouTube or not. Okay, well, I'm going to get started. Just the two of us, and people and you pop in, they'll pop in. I don't know if you saw on I don't know if you saw on the meeting that I wanted to talk about Confederate statues. Okay, and I just want to know, for me as an African American woman, or just as an African American person, I don't think the statues should come down. I think they should stay up.
Yes, okay.
And the reason that I say that is because it's part of our history. I mean, Black people are so ingrained into this country. I mean, we are, everything that has happened over the last 400 years, we've been a part of it, you know. And so with the Confederacy, slavery and everything, I understand you don't want to see someone up there who had slaves and what have you, but my feeling is you take those statues down, you're taking away a part of us. And those statues need to remind America, this is where America was. This is where it still is to a certain extent. And it needs to stay there because a lot of our children today, they don't even know who Harriet Tubman was.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, so my feeling is that you need to have those statues up to remind people. I mean, yeah, it pisses me off, but
they've been here forever, you know.
So
in Boston, we have a place called Faneuil Hall, and they have
I've heard of that.
Hundreds and hundreds of merchants there, and the Blacks in the community want to change it to something different because Faneuil, the man Faneuil, he owned slaves. And this name Faneuil Hall has been there forever, hundreds and hundreds of years. And that's what everybody who ever grew up or lived in Boston knows that as Faneuil Hall.
Okay, so then I would say instead of changing the name of places, when other places are built, then that's when you start naming them for people of color or people who were anti-slavery, you know, who were for the cause, whatever. But I just think that renaming places is not going to erase the truth. It's not going to erase. It's like you're trying to, okay, well, if we move the statue into this, you know, warehouse and nobody can see it, then that means that, you know, maybe things will get better. Well, it won't if your neighbor still, you know, thinks of you a certain way, or, you know, and the Confederate flag, let them wave their flag, because the bottom line is the Confederacy, the South, would not have been as strong as it was if it were not for people of color.
Yes.
People of color drove the economy for the South, and it drove the economy for the North. And in some aspects, the North didn't want to get rid of slavery because they needed it too. We were the cash crop.
Exactly.
You know, so that's why I say, you know, all this taking down the statues and what have you, you know, we need to learn our history. Let's learn it. So all these kids that are marching in the street and whatever, do you understand where you came from? Do you understand the people who were on that boat on the Middle Passage who died?
Right.
You know, and came over here and died and were beaten and raped and what have you, you know. So you may not like the white man, but we all got some of them in our family.
Exactly. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So, but you know, so these are
my
things.
My grandmother was a white lady.
My great grandmother was white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my grandfather, which is my father's father, he was black as the ace of spade. He came from the Cape Verde Islands, which the Portuguese from Portugal and the Africans from Africa, they mix. And they went to these islands, 10 islands off the coast of Africa. It is called Cape Verde Islands. You probably heard of Cape Verde Islands.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's where hurricanes originate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't know how my grandmother got there, and they both came to the US.
Okay.
And my father was born here. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean,
Yeah, we all have white people in their
we all
family.
have white people in our
Right.
family, and I'm sorry
Uh-huh.
to tell some white people you got some of us in you too. So
Definitely, yeah. Yeah,
so
you're right.
it's just something. That's why things like 1619, that is important,
It
because
is.
you can't. I mean, I just find that it's funny that when people wave the Confederate flag, you're waving this flag around, whatever, and
Mhm.
you're saying, long live the Confederacy. But you forget we were a major part of that. So
Yeah.
again, instead of whitewashing the story, when you tell that story, you had African American soldiers who
Mhm.
were serving and fighting alongst your grandparents, whatever. My grandfather, great great grandfather, they're fighting right alongside, and we were told that we would be free, and we weren't free.
Mhm.
So we had to wait almost 100 years before we were free. So
Yeah.
so that's why I always say that people have to realize and truly remember and understand where you
Mhm.
came from.
Right. We really do.
You
People
know,
need to know that. A lot of people don't.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. And that's why I think it's really important that, not necessarily for white kids, even though I do believe it's important for them, but for our own children and our own grandkids and children's children, whatever. We need to remember about those people who, had chains on, because if it weren't for
Oh,
people like them, who fought for us, we wouldn't have these multi-millionaires like Oprah and all these, you know, people who are able to make all this money because you are on the backs of someone who carried you, So that's why you need to vote. You need to get out there and make sure that your voice is heard, because you're not just speaking for yourself, you're speaking for the people who came before us, because we owe them. And I truly believe that we owe them a debt of gratitude.
yeah, definitely. We do.
So I
Right.
don't know. That's this is these are all the things that I want to say. And I listen to so many different programs. I listen to podcasts. I'm involved in different people's things. And when you're chatting, you can't really say what you want to say in a 200 character whatever. And even if you do say it, you're not
Exactly.
saying it the way you want to say it.
Right. You
you
can't.
know.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I've been thinking
So
about this for about
you
7
have been
months.
in the chat room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the chat room seems to be like there's a certain type of group that have like sort of, oh, how can I say it? They bonded with animals and babies. Understand what I'm saying? Like their dogs. And I mean, I have
Okay.
like that. You know what I mean? They talk about their dogs and they show their dogs, and it's like a certain group of people. And I'll go in there and I'll say something. I'll say hi, and they like don't pay me any attention. So I'm like sitting there, right? And I'll write hello so and so, hello, good people, blah blah blah, and they still are having a conversation among themselves, maybe 4 or 5 people. And I'm like sitting there. So I'm like, well, let me get out of here. And so what I do is I delete what I said to everybody and I just leave the chat room. Well, I leave the lounge. and then I might come back maybe 2 hours
Okay, so
later.
are you talking about the lounge on
The
Twitter?
lounge, the
Okay,
Storytime Lounge.
okay.
Have you been in there?
I've been in there, I think maybe three times, but I really haven't said anything. I mean, I've read what people are talking about, but I
Yeah,
really haven't been in
I
there.
read what people are talking about also, and sometimes I want to like say something about what they're, chatting about, but I have, and it's like they don't pay you any attention. Well, at least me, they don't pay me
Well,
any
you
attention.
know what, Pandora. I mean, that's with anything. I
My name
mean,
is Cheryl, if you want to call me
Cheryl. I'm
Cheryl.
sorry.
It
I'm
doesn't,
sorry,
but
Cheryl.
you can
I'm
call me
sorry.
Pandora. I don't mind because
Okay,
that's
Cheryl.
what I'm listed as.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay, but
Uh,
that's just what I mean. Unfortunately, you whenever you have a big group of people, you're
yes.
going to have people who are going to click with certain people. Some people may not click with you, or else you'll have that one person who doesn't click with anyone, and they just sit there and they just listen.
Yeah, true.
So
I find you very highly intelligent.
well, thank you, thank
I
you.
mean,
I give the
you are
credit.
a genius. I
Oh,
read
please,
all the
you're giving
time
me.
what you have to say, and I'm like, this is my girl.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is, I mean, I give a lot of credit. A lot of credit has to go to my parents when we were growing up. My mom was a teacher. My dad was a mail carrier.
Mm.
And my mom, we started learning. I remember she used to, we had this movie projector that we still have. They still have that movie projector. And my mom would bring home these slides of like Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, Sister Journey of Truth. And when we were, I remember as young as 5, my mother made us sit there and we had to watch it. And my mother used to, she worked I grew up in Chicago. My mother worked as a teacher in Indiana. And she used to produce in February, she would produce these plays, these African American plays, about different things. And, sometimes we had to be in them, even though we weren't part of her class. It was like, you all are going to be in them, whatever. And, and she was part of Jesse Jackson's, back then it was called Operation Breadbasket, which turned into Operation Push, you know.
Yeah.
And they, I remember my mom and my neighbors, they used to go to these meetings and stuff. And she was very involved in that. And she always just used to always tell us, this is who you are. Be proud of who you are. Always speak up for yourself.
And you certainly do. You do speak up, and I like how you come across when you speak up, because the last couple of days ago, maybe last week, you told BDD that you did not agree with him, but you did respect.
And that's what it is. It's like I
Yeah,
always respect someone's opinion. We're
that
all
was
not going to
beautiful, the
agree,
way you came across. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I mean, my husband and I, even though we're both liberal,
Yeah.
we have never agreed. Like when there's a presidential election for the primary, we never agree on the primary people. Like he's for one person, like he was totally Bernie Sanders person. I was Hillary Clinton, whatever.
Yes.
And this year, I think he was Bernie and I was Biden. I was sticking with Biden the entire way, whatever. And we don't come together until the nominee, because we know who we're going to vote for. But, I mean, you don't have to agree with someone, but it doesn't mean you have to disrespect them.
No, you're absolutely right. I feel that
or
way.
or even
Maybe it's because of my age, I have that respect.
and that's what it is. You don't have to discount what I say. You don't have to agree with me. You may even get pissed off, because I know I've said things to people who I pissed them off, they've pissed me off, but at the end of the day,
Uh-huh.
if we can still say, you know what, you're cool, whatever, but if you are not mature enough to handle a conversation like this, then you don't need, in my opinion, is you don't need to be in the conversation.
Absolutely.
You
I
know,
agree.
so I mean, there's someone that I talked to who every I just cannot talk politics with him. I cannot talk politics. I cannot talk race. He is white, and it's like everything is like a snarl. You know, you fucking liberals and I mean, it just gets nasty. You know, and then he's like, well, how come you can talk to so and so and they're white and you know you don't respond the same way? I'm like, first of all, they respect me. You don't respect me. So now it's like we're not even going to go there anymore. If we talk on the phone, we're going to talk about a movie, we're going to talk about TV, whatever. Other than that, I have nothing to say. But if you can't respect my opinion,
yeah, let it go.
you know, then and the person that he's referring to is like, I've known this person for over 30 years, and we disagree on everything. But at the end of the day, when we're hanging up the phone, we're laughing, we're talking about, do you see the Real Housewives of whatever? I mean, it's like we're laughing, we're talking. That's the way you're supposed to end it.
Yes.
You're not supposed to end it where, you're hanging up on somebody or you're pissed or
not on a bad note. No.
So it's, I'm not trying to convert you to, be a Democrat. I'm not trying to convert you to be a Republican, whatever. I'm not, or QAnon. I'm not trying to convert you at all. I'm just giving you my opinion and what I think.
That's great.
So the only thing I say is, can you respect that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And those are things that is lacking, because I would also love to do a show with police officers.
That would be very interesting.
I would love to do a show with
you would be very good
with police officers, because I want to know, even though you may say,
I know a former police officer that ran for mayor of the city I was born in. And if I were to get him, I could ask him if he would want to do a show with you.
I would love that.
And ask him if he could get his fellow police officers.
I would love that. And let him know that I'm looking to have, I'm looking to have an honest conversation.
Yes. I understand. Yeah.
So I mean, because we all have biases. We all do. I mean, we can say that we're as liberal or whatever, that we love everybody, but I don't love everybody. Okay. I mean, we all have our biases, but when your biases start to hurt people and they're harmful to people, or they kill people, or they just make people feel a certain way, that bully who goes to school every day and says, your mom can't afford clothes for you, and you're this or you're that. That's hurtful. And those are things that are lasting, and there are things that have consequences. So I would love to I would love to do a show with police officers, and I would also love to do a show with people who used to be bullies. I want to know, were you a bully in high school or grade school, whatever, and why were you like that?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a really interesting topic. I don't know. Do you really think bullies will stand up and say, yeah, that's what I was like?
I think some would. I think some would.
Hard to let people know you were like that.
But you know what though? I read an article. It was online. Or did I read it in Reader's Digest? Because I love Reader's Digest.
I do too.
I'm reading the large print now, but
I
Reader's Digest. But I was reading an article about someone who used to be a bully. And what they did was they ended up calling all of the people who they bullied. And this was like maybe 30 years prior. This was 30 years had passed. And he ended up calling people who he was able to get in contact with. And he said that he bullied like practically everybody. He talked to like 20 different people. So that's a lot of people, and then there were some people that he was not able to get in contact with, but he said that when he spoke to people that they appreciated him coming back and saying he was sorry, that there was one lady who, because of what he did to her, that she never wanted to go into a bathroom by herself. And this is 30 years prior. So, everyone that he talked to said that his bullying affected them, but by him coming back and saying that he was sorry, that it helped them move on. And he said that after he did it, he himself felt better. So maybe you will come on and say that this is the way you were, but
I imagine he would feel a lot better. That puts me in mind of a girlfriend of mine. She called all her ex-boyfriends. She's not married. Called all her ex-boyfriends and apologized to them the way she treated them. And she told me she was not very nice to them. And I'm like, how did you save all their numbers? I mean, I wouldn't save any ex-boyfriend's number. But she told me that's what she did because she was not a very nice person to them. So I got the impression that she bullied them, all their ex-boyfriends.
Well, I mean, that's basically what it probably was you're a bully. I mean, if you're not a nice person, you're a bully.
Yes.
So I mean, there's just I think everybody has an opportunity to say they're sorry. Now, whether or not you accept it or not, then that's up to you. But right. Also, I think it's important that ex-bullies get out there and speak about how they were, because nowadays bullying has just exploded, mainly because of social media.
Hooked up to my phone. Sorry. I just realized that my phone rang and I answered, I declined.
Oh,
okay. And it was through my earpods.
Your earplugs. Sorry. Okay. So, but I think that people who bully, they need to get out there and speak and let these kids today, because I mean, come on. I was telling Star the other day, Star Schumann. She's on the BDD platform, and we were talking. I was like, back in the day when we bullied somebody, or even if there was a bully, it's like, oh, you're stupid or you're dumb. I mean, but now it's just gone to such a whole new level where they're posting stuff on social media about you that's not true, and it just gets out everywhere, and kids are going back and they're killing themselves. And
yes, it's horrible.
So it's too much.
It is.
So this is where I think that the baby boomers can enlighten a lot of the millennials out there. We may be old or older, whatever, but we went
wiser. We might be older, but we're wiser.
We are wiser, and we went to high school. We got into trouble the same way you did. We talked back to our parents, and what have you. So I mean, we get it.
Yeah.
And
we went through that.
Yeah. So there's just so much that I think needs to be said that people are afraid to say, that people are afraid to hurt someone's feelings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
like, am I going to hurt your feelings because you did, this or that, whatever. And, I'm not trying to make you feel good when I'm speaking my truth. I'm not trying to make you feel good. I'm just telling you how I feel. Now, if you want to tell me how you feel, that's fine. But, this is how I feel,
Yes.
And I think more people should be honest. And when I look at when you look at, I refuse to call him the P word, when you look at the former guy, whatever, and this big lie that he's told, and all these people who have just bought into it. I mean, I really want to know, do you really truly believe this? Do you really truly believe the stuff that he says? What is it that is just drawing you to him? Or is it just the fact that you just dislike liberals so much? Or are you afraid, like Biden just wants to take away your guns? No, he doesn't. He just doesn't want a cuckoo to come in there and shoot up a grocery store or a school or something like that. Make sure that the people who are getting them are not crazy. Keep them. I mean, I'm all for owning guns and what have you. As long as you are a responsible gun owner. But if you're cuckoo like Cocoa Puffs, then
You're right.
So that's why I say, do you really believe this crap? Because that's what it is.
He's still spreading the lie today.
And
he was on some show today talking about he won.
And that's why I just say that the less you talk about him, the better. Don't give him that platform. And I'm glad that he's not on Twitter, because that's been a huge help. Whatever. But it's like, those are the people who you just have to just say, you know what, go with God. He will deal with you. But one thing I do believe in karma.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, I do too.
I definitely believe in karma, and sooner or later. But I do believe that, everybody's so worried about, is he running in 24? He's not running 24 because he's going to be in prison. I truly, truly believe that. I believe
that also.
I mean, even if he's only there for 6 months, I don't care, because he will have that title, convicted felon.
Exactly. And Rudy's going too.
Oh yeah, he is. He is.
He'll be there shortly.
He is. I mean, and Lord knows what Michael Cohen's been telling, all of these prosecutors, whatever.
Still wearing the bracelet, Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
Still under home confinement.
Yeah, he is.
But I'm glad he's out, but he gave them a lot of information.
Yeah. So, I mean, even when you look at January 6th, I do know that Fox News did not, what do you call it? They did not cover. They did not cover January 6th, the way it should have been covered, whatever. And then they helped push the BLM and Antifa lie. It was them. But why don't you stop looking at Fox News for a moment and seriously look at the footage, and you see, and these officers who are coming out saying that this is what happened. These are white officers, who are coming out saying, this is what happened. They tried to do this. They tried to kill me. They tried to do this, whatever. And, you think this is okay, but then they want to say, well, okay, but what about last summer? Okay, last summer we did have some people who did things that they should not have done. But one thing they did not do, they did not storm a federal building and try to say they wanted to hang the vice president. They were not, desecrating something that's supposed to show for democracy.
Yep.
So let's stay on subject, and let's talk about this. So again, I just say, when people are talking, it's like, do you really believe you? I mean, or do you really believe what someone is telling you? And my mother used to say to us, to my sister and I, do you hear yourself right now? Do you hear yourself right now?
Yes. Oh,
You know,
yeah. That was
you know,
the famous saying,
yeah. Do
right?
you hear yourself right now? And I would say that to my sons. Do you hear yourself right now? So it's like listen to what you're saying. So sometimes I just wish that you could take
That
them and
brought
then let.
back memories. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's so funny. Yeah.
But there's just so much to say, and I don't like I don't like whitewashing over stuff. Like there's sometimes that subjects, come up and people like, yeah, well, okay. But I'm like, if you're going to bring up a subject, then let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion, whatever. Don't whitewash it and, whatever. So that's why if I disagree with someone, I'll say, Cheryl, I disagree with you, whatever,
Right.
because blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. But I
That's
don't
why
always
I
get a
was so
chance to get to the
attracted to you,
because.
because of the way you spoke and everything. I'm like, yes, you are definitely a solid blue sister.
I just try and believe me, there are times when I have said things that uh, people do not like. And for instance, the Confederate statue thing, I had a lot of pushback from Black people who have said, no, you're wrong, you're wrong. And I explained to them why. They're
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe, but I still think, and I'm like, I understand that, but I'm not trying to take down every symbol of racism, because to me, that again shows why 1619 is important. And the more things that we take down or cover up that shows racism gives white people another reason to say, America's not racist. America's not this. America's not that. Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Look at that Confederate flag up there. You know what that Confederate flag really stands for? You know,
Yeah.
so let's talk about it.
Yep.
Let's talk about that mansion that your family is living in, that you inherited from generations, from generations, from generations. Guess
Yeah.
who built it?
Yes.
It was us.
Your great grandfather, that's a statue down the street, built it. Yeah.
His slaves built it.
Yeah, his slaves built it. Exactly. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
There's a reality show on TV. Oh, it's like based in Charlestown. And one of the girls, her great great grandfather statue was in the center, and they pulled it down. His last name was Callahan. And they took his statue down in Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it shows on the reality show, it shows them taking the statue down, and people are crying. It's really something to see. I wish I could remember that.
Would it be on YouTube that I would be able to go back and look it up on
Yeah,
YouTube?
you would be able to go on YouTube and look for it. I'm trying to remember one girl's name. They're all kids. They're not really kids, but they're like grown adults in their middle 30s and maybe 40 the most. Oh,
Okay.
I would have to send that to you. And it's an excellent series. The one where they take her great great grandfather's statue down, and his last name is Callahan.
Now, what was he known for?
Owning a lot of slaves. That's what he was
Okay.
known for.
Okay. There's another thing that I also wanted to, I should have had it where, because I'm still working out how to post, what do you call it? Content on here. I'm still trying to learn how to do that. I'm not all that tech savvy and what have you, but I do try.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Caroline Randall Williams? She has, if you watch MSNBC.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I
Okay.
watched it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you read the op-ed that she
Put in the New York Times?
yes.
No, I didn't. I get the New York. Was that today?
No. This
Oh,
she posted this. I'm actually looking for it. She posted this
a while ago. Oh,
last summer when
okay.
people were talking about the Confederate statues and what have you. Let me see. Let me look in one other place here. Um,
Oh, I just found the reality show.
here it is. Okay.
Yes.
She
Go
says,
ahead.
you want, where is it? Really? You're going to make me do that now? You want a Confederate monument? My body is a Confederate monument.
I like that.
And basically, she says, the Black people I own come from, were owned and raped by white people. The Black people I come from were owned and raped by the white people I come from.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that's heavy.
So she says, who dares me to tell them to celebrate them? And basically her, if I'm correct, her great grandfather was the Wizard of the Klan.
Wow.
So she's saying that, her body is a monument. So, and when I read that, it was such a powerful article that you think about it and you're like, well, yeah, because I know for a fact that my great grandmother on my father's side, his mother's people, was raped by the master. Wow. So it's not like she got pregnant and they got married. No. So I mean, so it's like, when again, that's why I say we are so much a part of this country, so much a part of its history, that wherever you go, you're going to trip over one of us.
Absolutely.
You're going to trip over one of us because we're here.
We are
here. We are here to stay. We are not going anywhere. You can try to kill us and what have you, but and then again, when you kill us, you make us into martyrs. I mean, George Floyd, this time last year, he's minding his own business. Yeah. And who's to say,
enjoying life.
Yeah. And now we have the George Floyd bill, whatever. I mean, it's sad of what happened to him, but when you do things like this, you make us martyrs. You make us want to march on and, fight even harder. So when you do things like this, and then you say that we can't vote and we can't give someone water. I can't bring water up to, an old lady who's been standing there for 5 hours.
The Bible tells you to give people water.
But you know what? But that's okay, because the people who stood in line for 8 hours last time, the next time they're going to stand in line for 16 hours. And they're going to stand in line longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. You take that drop box that was 5 miles away and put it to 10 miles away.
It's going to backfire. It will backfire on them.
It is. And it's going to backfire on their own constituents, because they have to vote too. So while you're doing all this stuff, no early voting and no absentee, you got to do this, you got to do that, you're also hurting your own people too. So
unbelievable.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah. I do too.
So, but stupidity for some people is a trait. For some people, it is a trait. I have someone that's been trying to get into the room for the longest, and every time I click admit, it looks like they're fooling around with their video. So I'm not sure who that is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I wanted
I
to tell you that Southern Charm is the reality show.
Southern Charm.
Southern Charm, and sort of look through the episodes where they take down a statue.
Is it this season?
Well, no, it's the past season.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Southern Charm.
This season hasn't started yet, but
I've heard of Southern Charm.
there has been 7 seasons altogether.
Wow. Okay.
So they're pretty
I will
popular.
look for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Southern Charm. Okay. And what station?
Bravo.
Bravo. Of course it would be Bravo. Bravo. They tend to have
Bravo,
shows like that. Okay.
all the reality shows.
Okay.
Practically.
I will look for that. By the way, I was thinking once I got an audience
Uh-huh.
that I would have maybe on Fridays, like people submit things, they DM me through my Twitter message account and give me topics of things that they would want to talk about, and then let them like be a guest host or whatever.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
So that way, if you wanted to talk about Mickey Mouse, then okay, Cheryl, want to talk about Mickey Mouse and take it away.
Funny.
So
I'm a listener, I like to listen to people.
well, listening is also good. My mother there's another thing my mother used to say, you don't listen. You don't listen, like when you're yelling so much, all I can do is listen. so yeah.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, like I said, let's see, tomorrow, what was it gonna be tomorrow? No, I don't have that with me. Yeah, every day I'm gonna have, something different. And it's not all going to be, serious, whatever. I have one topic that I want to talk about, but I want to have a group of people because I want to hear people's opinions. But I have a question about twins.
Oh. Are you a twin?
No, I am not a twin. But I do have a question. This goes from an incident that happened when my son was going to regular school before we started homeschooling. Just an incident that happened. I don't want to give away too much, but I just want to know people's opinions, because every time I bring this up, people are like, well, no, well, no. So it's just something that I would, like to know that their opinion. But I am going to end every show with a riddle.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And
I'm looking here for the episode, but you'll find the episode where they bring down the statue. Okay.
I'm going to type it so you can read it.
Okay.
How many letters are in the alphabet?
Oh my goodness. I know there are 14 in the Hawaiian alphabet. And I'm going to guess because I'm going to say 28. And I know that's wrong. Why do I know just Hawaii? Because I would go to Hawaii like for the whole month of September every year. So I always knew how many letters they had in their alphabet. And as far as ours, I don't even know. Now, and I've had that question put to me a couple of times in my lifetime, but not in the past maybe 20 years.
Okay, so you don't know how many letters are in the alphabet?
No.
You sure? Okay, well, technically there are 26 letters in the alphabet.
26. Why did I say 28?
Okay, so, but do you think that's true, that there are 26 letters in the alphabet?
Do I think that's true?
Mhm.
Well, I don't know why. 26, 27, 28. There was a rhyme. Like there are 26 letters in the alphabet, but this letter and that letter make it 28. Are we doing a rhyme here? With
No,
alphabet?
no, no, no
Okay.
rhyme. It's just a question. How many letters are in
I
the alphabet?
know. A trick question. How about that?
It is sort of a trick question.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go with 26? Do you want to go with 28? Do you want to go with something else?
I'll
Want to
go with 26.
Okay, is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
The answer is 8.
8.
Look at what I wrote. How many letters are in the alphabet?
It's not on the screen anymore.
Okay.
How many letters did you?
Right.
8. Oh. Is there somebody that wants to come in the chat? No. Okay.
Alphabet has 8 letters. Word.
Oh, you got me.
The word alphabet has 8 letters.
Exactly.
So someone gave that to me once. I'm like, 26. And they're like, are you sure? And she kept saying, Lisa, look at what I wrote. I'm looking at it. How many letters are in the alphabet? Like 26. And she's like, look at what I wrote.
We have to listen.
And then you have to listen, right? And so then I kept looking at it. I'm like, 8.
And you figured that out quick, right?
Yes. So, well, I'm supposed to be on here for an hour. We're at 53 minutes, whatever. But yeah. I appreciate, Cheryl, I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate, so I'm not sitting here talking to myself and looking at the wall and what have you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for people to come on. Yeah, I understand.
Well, hopefully,
but I was
tomorrow.
So excited reading about it, in Twitter. And I'm like, I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to be there no matter what.
Well,
because I really adore you and how you speak on BDD and what you have to say about every single topic. You are just on top of everything.
Well, I just.
And it's not just one word or 3 words of, you've got like a paragraph going on. And how you get that paragraph on, how you get that on, I can never figure that one out.
Well, see, and that's why,
And you're sharp, with whatever he has to say, you're like right on it.
And
he calls on you a lot. You notice that?
Yeah.
He calls on you a lot. You're a challenge to him.
Last week, I purposely stopped. I don't know if you noticed, I stopped asking questions, whatever. And I did that because I was like, well, first I was having my own show, but also because I wanted to give other people a chance, to whatever. But I
Well,
mean,
other people are not coming up with good stuff. He likes.
it's not even me coming up with good stuff. It's I am listening to what he's talking about, during
Yeah.
during the
Uh-huh.
show and
Uh-huh.
whatever. And I'm like, okay, if you're gonna open up a door,
Yeah.
then walk through that door. Let's talk about it.
Yes, exactly. You asked him one question about, would you rather be a slave or an Indian? And I forget how the question went,
Mhm.
but he really liked that question.
Well, I
Do
mean,
you, do you remember asking him
yeah,
the
I'm trying to
question?
think
You
how I
worded it.
phrased it.
You phrased it not like I'm saying it, but
Mhm.
it was very interesting.
I mean, but as we're talking, and I mean, because even while I'm talking to you, it's like you've said some interesting things to me, whatever. And I mean, even the whole thing with getting cops to come,
Yeah,
on my show, I would really love for that.
yeah. Okay.
I would really love to have that. And
Mhm.
again, I just want to have an honest conversation. If you're not going to say anything and you're not going to be honest, then you can still come on, but I kind of prefer you just not say anything. Just stay mute. Because, if you're not going to say something that's honest and true, I mean, even if it's something that I don't like, even if you say, yeah, I've gone and I've, arrested people that, whatever, or well, I don't want you to have to incriminate yourself on Zoom or whatever, but,
Right.
just I'm just the type of person who, Cheryl, I have very, and this is the honest to God's truth. I have very low tolerance
Tolerance. I knew what you were
for
going to say.
people who, for instance, I have friends who complain, complain, and they may say, Lisa, I can't stand Cheryl because blah blah. Every time she does this, I'm like, well, why don't you go tell Cheryl?
Right.
Well,
I'm not the
I'm
middleman.
not going to tell it because whatever. Then I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. Okay. And people who complain, like this person I was telling you who he complains about politics. Oh, the liberals, why don't you run for office? Well, I'm not going to run for office because then you know what? Shut the up.
I hear you.
I have very, very low tolerance for people who complain and cannot do something to make it better.
My husband's like that. Oh, low tolerance. Mm,
I mean, very, very low tolerance.
yeah.
Hell, I have 3 rescue dogs because I love dogs so much, and I
Oh,
cannot stand to see dogs and horses, especially dogs. I'm not a cat lover, but especially
yeah.
dogs. I cannot stand to see dogs suffer. And my husband's like, Lisa, please don't bring home another dog, whatever. But I am one of those people. I'll sit and I'll watch YouTube videos of these little rescues and stuff. And there are some places that I donate money to. Some of them I
Yeah.
donate money to this place in Greece that, whatever, that they're doing all these rescues and stuff. And,
Hmm.
I volunteer at shelters where I am scooping poop and all the other stuff. I don't care because I'm trying to be part of the solution.
Exactly.
So
That's
if you're going to
beautiful.
complain,
Yeah. Now, are you retired?
I work from home. I have like this. I've been self-employed
Ah,
for about 20 years. I was a paralegal and I was an independent contractor. I worked with various attorneys across the country. And I stopped doing that actually it's only been a few years, but now I have my own company where I am actually growing up. My mother always made lotion and she would put it in a jar. And my sister and I always had to use this lotion. And we never got a chance to have like store-bought lotion, anything from like Jergens or something like that. We never got a chance to use that. And my mother said, because this is better. And it actually is. And I've been using this lotion and this face cream for the past, I'm 59. I've been using it for that long.
Your
And
skin is beautiful.
my mother is 80, my mother will be 86 this year. My mother has no wrinkles. She has none, none.
Wow.
You know, so I decided to.
So where would a person go to purchase your?
It would be on my on my website, and I'm actually sending out
Twitter?
samples. So if you would like samples,
Yes.
then DM your information. I will send you face cream. I will send you lip balm. I will send you lotion. And I'm telling you, the lotion is the bomb. And like I told Star earlier today, because I was talking to her, I said, I don't have ashy feet. So yeah, so I'd be more than willing, because I'm also it's a new product launch. It's called Smooth, and it works. I'm sorry, but it does. You know, So I mean, I was the
Wow.
one who was taking lotion out of the jar, out of the non-labeled jar when I was little, going, "Can we please just buy some lotion from the store?" And years later, it's like, mother was right.
Mother's always right.
She was right. And I only use my own product.
She must be a sweetheart.
I only use my own product.
Yeah.
So, because my mother was very much into take care of your skin, take care of your skin, take care of your skin, take care of your skin.
Definitely.
And that is what my sister and I do. And because I would ask my sister, do you still use mommy? She's like, yep.
Yeah.
So I told her that, well, I'm going to bottle it, because this stuff works. So
Good
yeah.
You.
So I've been so that's what I've been doing. And I've about to have a huge launch for it. And I am giving away samples because I also want to know what you truly feel. I mean, I want to know your honest opinion.
Yeah. Definitely.
So.
Wow. You
So,
are
yeah.
interesting. My God. I am so glad I'm here.
Well, hopefully tomorrow I can get one more person.
Okay. Same time. Okay.
Same back channel, same back place, same back channel, whatever. So
yeah. Okay.
I will see you later on in BDD. So I will still support him, and I still support other shows and stuff.
Does he follow you?
He does follow me, but I don't know if he follows me. Because I know he
I
follows
understand.
a lot of people. He follows a lot of people.
He does follow a lot of people. He doesn't follow me, and that's okay. I'm okay with it.
He does follow me, but
he does have a lot of people.
But he does follow a lot of people. So yeah, I mean,
he does.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be reaching out to another person that follows me, and I follow him. He's Asian, because I would like for him to come on the show, because I would like to talk about Asian hate.
Yes.
And I would also like to talk about racism.
They recently had Asian hate right here in Boston, Tufts University.
Okay.
On campus. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about racism that Black people show against Asians, and racism that Asians show against Black people.
Black people. Mm.
So again, it's like, I just want to put it out there, and can we have an honest conversation?
Yes.
So yeah. So as you see, Cheryl, I have a lot to say, and I can't put it in 200 characters on chat.
I know.
So
wow.
I do. I appreciate you showing up, and you're going to get free samples just because you showed up. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God.
So just
honored.
send me your contact information.
I will.
DM me, and I'll also DM you. I'll DM my phone number, so if you want to send it to me on text, whatever. And I will probably I'll get you something out probably by Friday, because this is a busy week.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I
I'm
look forward to
patient.
seeing you. Okay, I'll see you in
Okay.
about an hour then.
Okay, yeah.
All right,
See you
bye.
then. All
Thank
right.
you.
Take
Bye.
care. Thank you. Appreciate you.
You
All right.
too.
Bye now.